You ever tried the marble challenge with your students? Quite an interesting endeavor. If you see the pictures here, I want you to ask yourself the question, which one do you think the top students in the class built? And which one do you think won the competition? The goal is to get your marble to roll as far as possible, but it has to land within an 8-inch square. You might be surprised. The funny thing is, the one in the middle was the winner, and if you look at it, it's probably the simplest one there is. And this was by no means the top academic students according to test scores in the class. They won, however, because their ability to think outside the box and to use different perspectives, for their ability to think simple and complex, and then weigh which one works better for this situation. My point is this. Our goal is to build problem-solving students for the future. And in order to do that, we first have to give them power. In the activity with the marbles, the goal is to let them do the thinking, the talking, the discussing, and for you to facilitate, for you to watch and ask questions to guide them into looking at things from different perspectives. But if we let them face those struggles and we facilitate their perseverance, they build a tough skin, an ability to handle challenges. This should give them the skills to take on problems that they may have never seen before in a real life situation. Think of it this way. We try and teach kids traditionally to memorize things to prepare for a test. And there's so many steps and words we need to teach them to know what to expect. But what if it's simpler than that? What if we can simply teach the kids to think and to stick with problems longer than they're used to not give up at a challenge, and to try different strategies if they're struggling to find that answer. Maybe even collaborate with peers like we do in a workforce. Could we possibly still get the same result? Take this volcano, for example. Now, we can't offer our kids real life situations all the time, but we want them to make connections. We want them to understand the relevance of what they're doing. Do you remember being a kid and actually thinking, oh, that's right, the teacher told me I could use this in real life. I better give it my all. I know when I was 8 or 9, it wasn't that. I was looking to compete and to win or to do something that was interesting to myself, to what I like to do. With 25 kids in a classroom, you may not be able to reach out to everyone's interest at a time, but by grouping them together and allowing them to feed off of each other's ideas and collaborate, they might be able to make those connections and learn some things that they didn't know before because of their peers. If we could go to a place like this, I guarantee the kids would be very interested in learning about the distances between their location and the mountain, the speed they'd have to travel to escape the lava or the ash, the real life learning that would go on if you were actually in this situation would be incomparable to what you can actually learn in the class. However, our goal is to try and give them experiences that they will remember and retain as much as they would a real life situation where they're forced to learn and work and survive or find a solution that could cost them, their job if they don't do it right. So how do we create problem-solving ninjas? How do we get kids to do well on tests, to get through our curriculum, but be good thinkers, well-rounded individuals, work well in teams, and are able to take on challenges without quitting, giving up, but use different strategies and ideas, different perspectives to try and solve them? Thinking routines, as discussed in Making Things Visible, are a great way to create a culture in a classroom where students look forward to challenges. They don't view them as something difficult or hard, but they look for ways to think outside the box and challenge their brain and dive deeper under the surface of a certain problem to think critically about it. We want them to feel our presence without us being present. In order to do that, we have to create a culture built around our beliefs as learners, as lifelong learners, as people who persevere, think critically, able to change perspectives, collaborate, and to be innovative so that we can be successful in an ever-changing society.